You're listening to The Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 in Tuscaloosa.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
In news from the NFL, Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin told reporters on Tuesday that they are once again planning to start Justin Fields at quarterback on Sunday against the Broncos. Dolphins running back Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert both missed practice Tuesday with injuries ahead of their Thursday night game against Buffalo. In baseball games of note, the Braves roll over the Nationals 12-0. Atlanta has moved back into a tie with the New York Mets for that last wildcard spot in the National League, with the Mets losing to the Blue Jays 6-2. Yankees were shut out by the Royals 5-0. Kansas City remains 3.5 back of Cleveland for first in the AL Central, while New York's lead in the AL East is back down to just a half game on Baltimore. The Orioles beat the Red Sox to gain ground 5-3 the final. Tigers rout the Rockies 11-0. Detroit remains 3 back of Minnesota for the final wildcard spot in the American League. Twins beat the Angels 10-5. Phillies beat the Rays 9-4, while the Dodgers lose to the Cubs 6-3. So Philadelphia has a 1-game lead on LA for the top record in baseball.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to center and you were playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you could pick up, you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to pick it, and our running back coach didn't take the pass. biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Wednesday edition of the Martin Houston Show, powered by Fox Sports. It is a wild card Wednesday. As we get ready to kick this off, we will be talking about a quick jaunt around the SEC. Tennessee's dumbass, Auburn in that hard loss. Coach DeBoer and his coaching style. What is his best combination for the offensive line moving forward? How big of a loss is Justin Jefferson in this Wisconsin game, as we get ready to focus in on that as we turn our attention there? And is it time to open up the playbook? But before we do all that, I just want to take a moment and remember today is 9/11. 23 years since many lives, over 3,000 American lives were lost on this day. The catalyst that turned so many young men and women into joining the military, myself included. It is a day of remembrance, and so I want to just take a moment to remember those people that lost their lives that day, the men and women that lost their lives fighting for the next 20 years in a war, and all of their families and friends as this day has come upon us again. But I'll go ahead and kick it over to Martin. How you doing this morning?
Doing well. Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show, powered by Box Eye Care. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for what they do to bring you the Martin Houston Show, powered by Box Eye Care. We thank them so much for what they do each and every day. I want to remind you that you can get in on the conversation on the Empowerment Strategy and Solutions hotline at 205-342-9904. That's the Empowerment Strategy and Solutions hotline. Once again, that's 205-342-9904. We are open for business, so jump over there, dial us up, get in, or if you tune in on the live stream, comment, react or ask your questions in the live stream chat. Follow the Martin Houston Show on Facebook. And if you want to learn more about Empowerment Strategy and Solutions, go to empowermentstrategy.com. That's empowerment with an M, empowermentstrategy.com, empowermentstrategy.com. Remember that this is the day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice, be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in this world today. And as Xavier mentioned, we got several great topics to get to if you're just now joining us, ranging from the loss of Justin Jefferson. How big a deal is that? Around the SEC/nation. We want to talk about, the Tennessee, and if you tune in on the, live stream, I misspelled Tennessee, and I did not do that on purpose. I'm sure, there's several people that think I probably did. But the Tennessee, dominance, is it dominant? Is it something to be concerned about? Or is it just another one of those things that, yet to be seen? Do we take it as what's happening there? So remember, let's go out and be the difference maker though. That's my biggest challenge to you, especially on this Wednesday. Go out and be a difference maker in the world, because God has given us another day and another opportunity to notice people, and love people, and serve people. Let's get this thing rolling, X.
All right. I said quick, John, around the SEC, the nation, things going on there. Of course, your thoughts on what Tennessee has done to start off the season. Of course, everybody kind of expected that Tennessee would dominate their first game, and I'm drawing a blank on who they played. That just shows you the level of team. UT Chattanooga. And then you turn around and you look at what they did to North Carolina State on Saturday. Is Tennessee a real contender, or are they just absolutely whooping up on bad competition? Because we all have feelings about how weak the ACC is this year. You know, Florida State 0-2, looking ugly for them. Is this a team that Alabama should really be concerned about, or is it just early season success?
I mean, I think it can be both of those. I think it's both, and I think Tennessee probably is an improved team. I think the quarterback, I don't even attempt to say his name yet.
Nico.
Yeah. Tennessee's quarterback. Tennessee starting quarterback. We're trying to we're giving them a lot of, it's to me, it could be sort of like our Western Carolina. Was I guilty of giving Alabama way too much credit for, what they did to Western Carolina? Probably. Do I think everybody's probably doing the same thing with Tennessee? Probably. And I don't know that we'll know what Tennessee have, until maybe Oklahoma or maybe Arkansas. I don't think Florida give them anything. So they could come into Tuscaloosa easily 6-0. And that'll be 7 weeks into the season. What I will say is I think Tennessee offensively has been good since their coach has gotten there. So that's not a surprise. What I will say is the defense seems to be improved. And with that said, it makes Tennessee a more formidable opponent and someone you have to, be concerned with. But what I saw from us Saturday gives me more excitement around Alabama playing Tennessee. I saw a team that was able to get lined up and ready to play, which that's been Tennessee's success against Alabama, is that we just haven't been able to get lined up in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and as you said, Nico is a very talented quarterback, and I saw somebody put it this way. They said when you looked at when they had Hendon Hooker, they were a very horizontal team, throwing it sideline to sideline. With Joe Milton, they were strictly a vertical team. Well, with Nico, you have a little bit of both, that ability to stretch the field horizontally and vertically. So I think that is something that Alabama definitely has to keep an eye on. And he can make plays with his legs. He's really athletic. But I think, as you said, it'll take a couple more weeks to really see where Tennessee is as a team. But they will be a concern without a doubt because of their quarterback and the improvement in the defense. I think they have probably the best defensive player in the country in James Pierce. So we'll have to see where that goes from there. And moving on from Tennessee, we have Auburn, the little brothers from across the state. Your thoughts on that game against Cal, and does Hugh Freeze have to make a move and put in a different quarterback? Because Peyton Thorne, the regression that you've seen from him when he first became the starter at Michigan State to now is one that might need to be studied.
Well, I don't know that I don't get the Peyton Thorne thing. It's almost like you buy something and you told everybody how awesome it is. And even when it doesn't live up to your expectations, you still keep telling yourself that it's just because you're doing something wrong. I don't think Peyton Thorne's a great quarterback. And this is year 2 of that. And I think Hugh Freeze has to begin to coach for his future. Brian Harsin posted something with a picture of him. I don't know if it was him, but someone holding a coffee mug with a lake in the background, making a joke, about, getting a win. And so he was jabbing Auburn about he's relaxing on the lake. I think Auburn could be in trouble this year. Unless they make some drastic changes. It doesn't matter how good your receivers are if the quarterback can't get it to them. And if you watch that game, it was poorly officiated in favor of Auburn, especially down the stretch. They had their drive. They got their second. They scored on the first drive, Xavier, and then they got another touchdown drive. And I think they had 2 penalties in that drive, and one of them took an interception off the board.
Yeah, it was ugly to watch, because all you've heard is they've got all these wide receivers, they got all these playmakers, and people have said all off season, hey, who's gonna get on the ball? And then of course, the Alabama A&M game was fool's gold, as I like to say. Not a lot of it was easy. It was easy. Everybody was catching touchdowns. You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. And then when you play that step up in competition, you see 4 interceptions. And it's ironic. Did you see Perry Thompson played 1 snap? We were told all these guys were ready, and then he goes out and plays 1 snap. Cam Coleman looked like he had a shoulder injury that forced him to not be able to go up and make some plays on the game in the game. But Auburn's definitely got to get it together. Otherwise, it could be another long season. I saw something else that said Hugh Freeze is 5-11 in his last 16 games against Power 5 schools. So Hugh Freeze isn't winning big games. And I think that's going to be a wake-up call for Auburn. As you said, he's going to have to coach for his job. But we're going to go ahead and get the break here. When we come back on the other side, we'll continue the conversation with DeBoer and his coaching style. Is he fired up enough, or is he too relaxed for some of people? But remember, you can join us on the Empowerment and Strategies and Solutions hotline at 205-342-9904.
And as we get the break, don't forget to go check out Dixie Battery Supply. Dixie Battery Supply, power up any device. Never feel powerless again. You can buy wholesale batteries from them right here in Tuscaloosa and Northport. They have plenty of options when you're shopping for wholesale batteries. They offer everything from golf cart batteries to marine batteries, including golf carts, speedboats, cars, ATVs, scooters, motorcycles, alarms. Call 205-758-9190 today to learn more about the wholesale battery right here in Northport and or Tuscaloosa. Why should you use Tuscaloosa Battery Supply? Tuscaloosa locally owned battery warehouse since 1998 and counting. We care a lot about helping our community. You aren't buying your batteries from some huge corporation. You're buying it from your neighbor. And don't forget about those $39.99 reconditioned batteries with an exchange. Go to DixieBatterySupply.com or 205-758-9190.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, hello and happy hump day to you. Let's talk Cottondale. Got a major crash on 2059 in the southwest direction, just past Covered Bridge Road. This has got a long line of delays. It's going to take you back to just shy of Demir-Benz Boulevard. And then we've also got another fender bender on 350.
Experience the wow factor. Contact Shoot Masonry and Specialties at 205-887-3807 today and unleash your home's full potential.
This season of Alabama football on Tide 100.9 brought to you by Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Just a few minutes away where you can be a winner too.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. Its daily update on Bama sports and is brought to you by Conecuh Sausage, a true Southern flavor since 1947 and the official smoked sausage of the Crimson Tide. Get some Conecuh Sausage now at ConecuhSausage.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. On yesterday's edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, we were joined by Alabama linebacker Jahad Campbell. What have you liked about your role in this defense?
Well, I would say it's more flexible and it's more, complex. You got different roles that you got to have more responsibility in. You got things that you have to take care of more and you got to hold yourself accountable, and for me, I got to make sure, I'm making sure I'm in my playbook. I'm knowing my calls. I'm knowing my checks, that I could give to myself, but not only myself, but the D-line, the safeties, and just really just communicating with everybody. And I mean, at the end of the day, everybody just doing their job and executing, so we could get a 3 and out and get off the field.
I'll have more in a moment.
Favorite jeans, favorite shirt. Got Conecuh sausage and I'm firing it up. Yeah, everybody knows how I get my grill on. You can smell that flavor up and down the road. It's a little taste of heaven, and everybody knows. That's how I get my grill on. Conecuh sausage. It's just a little taste of heaven.
Join us tonight for Hey Coach and the Kalen DeVore Show starting at 6 p.m. from Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa. You can listen to Hey Coach across our radio network, the Varsity Network app, as well as the video stream on all Alabama Athletics social media platforms. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Conecuh Sausage. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Mostly cloudy today, rain moving in by afternoon, a high 81. Becoming windy tonight, cloudy with periods of rain, maybe a few thunderstorms through tomorrow. Rain could be heavy at times. The low tonight 66, the high tomorrow 75. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show, powered by Box Eye Care. That's Box Eye Care. Daniel Box and his team are waiting on an opportunity to serve you, help you with your eye care needs. That's Box Eye Care, located 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. The reason I tell you that, it's a new location. Don't look for them any longer in the Walmart shopping center, inside Walmart, but they have their own freestanding location right next door to Met Center South down on Highway 69. But here's what you can count on. Same great service, same great people, more team members added to better serve you, but also a new in-house lab. big inventory, competitive prices. That's Box Eye Care. They will help you with all of your vision care needs. Go check them out online at boxeyecare.com, boxeyecare.com. All right. X, we were talking about the teams. Is there really anybody that we know a lot about from the SEC? You could potentially say Texas, because they play Michigan, but does that really tell us a lot? Oklahoma, had a nice win against Houston. Is Arkansas legit, X, when you look at it from they should have won, could have won, and should have won against Oklahoma State, which is supposed to be the best team in the Big 12, the favorite there. So lots of different things to get to. Ole Miss, you don't know anything. LSU's lost. Kentucky got slammed. Last question. South Carolina, was that legit or not?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question when you look at how some of these teams have played. I mean, you can say Georgia, you know, a good bit about due to the game against Clemson, but once again, how good is Clemson? They go out and play App State and beat the brakes off of them. I think you know a little bit about Texas, because Michigan still has a really good defense. Their offense isn't what it was. And they wore that defense down.
But is that because of offense? You know,
true. Because the offense wasn't able to move the ball, but that also I would say that could lend to how good Texas defense is, but Michigan struggled to move the ball against Fresno State. You've seen some teams that have been just flat out dominant in Tennessee and Ole Miss through both of their games, as well as Georgia. But I think Georgia has the best litmus test because I think Clemson will probably win the ACC this year. Clemson or Miami, but I think everybody else you're still learning a lot about. And you can look at the Alabama game and how that went on Saturday, and that kind of leads us into the conversation of Coach DeBoer and his coaching style. He's a lot more laid back than Nick Saban. When you saw what was going on Saturday, if that was a Nick Saban-led team, you feel like there'd been a lot of headset slamming, a lot of yelling, a lot of fiery energy on the sideline. But when you look at Coach DeBoer, he was even-keeled and calm all the way through, no matter what was going on in the game. It didn't matter if it was 14-13 and Bama just fumbled the ball 2 consecutive drives, or when Bama started to pull away with any of the touchdowns late, whether it had been Ryan, Jam, or Justice. So I think I've seen some interesting takes. Some people going, hey, man, we need that energy back on the sideline. Well, I don't think you're getting it from Coach DeBoer, but if you looked at Coach Womack, if you looked at Coach Shepard, other coaches on the sideline, you're still getting that fiery energy. It's just not from the head guy anymore.
Right. And here's the thing. You know, I've had some people say, well, last year, Martin, you were saying Nick Saban needs to show more energy, more fire. That's because that was his coaching style. There was a drastic difference last year with Coach Saban at times compared to what Coach Saban had been. That's why I said what I said. If Coach Saban had not had a fiery style, then I wouldn't have thought something was off with him. But when he was just letting stuff go and even the year before he was starting to do that, but you didn't see a lot of energy from the other coaches. You didn't see the other coaches coaching players and getting in their stuff. That's number one. Number two, X, you nailed it, is the energy is coming from all the other guys and from the players. Remember, this is not a head coach centric only led team. This is a overall, but he's clearly the man in charge. Third, X, when guys come off, what do they have on the sideline that they've not had before?
Tablets.
Well, what are those tablets for? To coach. Now think about this. How many of you have ever sat down to take a test and they ramp up the noise and the screaming and the distractions around you, Chase? Usually when you're going to teach somebody something, and you're going to have them look at something, you don't start screaming and yelling. And that's so true. It's going to be a little different, for those reasons. But if you're looking for DeBoer to be what you've seen in Saban when it comes to getting on to people, he has a different style. He has a different approach, and he has decentralized what we saw in the last 17 years. In other words, he has decentralized that passionate, get in your face response to his coaches. But I promise you, if you ask any guy who's the clear leader of that team, who drives it, is Coach DeBoer. So, I think it's an overreaction, X, to it. And a lot of times they say your quarterback reflects your coach's mentality. What did they report about Jalen Milroe during the game? They said, man, players were throwing help. You guys, if you were there, you didn't hit. But Jalen Milroe said, they literally came up, said, players are throwing helmets and yelling. And she said, but Jalen Milroe is even keel. And yep. he is calm, and his demeanor is ready, and he's going to lead this team back. And boom, he held it together, went out, and Alabama finished strong.
Yeah, when you were looking at, I watched the game after the fact, on a replay, and at the end of the game, when everybody else was, even after Alabama got to, like Jalen was happy, but if he would have that moment of excitement, then it was back to neutral every time. It kind of reminds me of a former Jalen. Like, you never saw Jalen Hurts get rattled. You still don't see him get rattled. You might see him have that moment of excitement, frustration, but then it's right back to that even keel. And that's what, in my opinion, that's what you want out of your quarterback. That's what you need your quarterback to be. You need your quarterback to not get overly amped in moments. Have that excitement, be happy, but go back to zero so that you can lead your team. Because I also think when the quarterback gets too amped up sometimes, in a positive way or a negative way, it can lead to potential issues during the course of the game.
And like I said, you want your quarterback to, many times you want your quarterback to be able to mirror and reflect the coach's intensity. And Blind Squirrel Sport points out to us that Courtney Morgan says that he always has a calm demeanor. If you're looking for Coach Saban on the sideline, Bama fans, you're not going to get it in DeBoer. If that's it, you're not going to get it. And Blind Squirrel Sport, he said he seems to have a very high emotional IQ. And for people who don't understand that's a lesson actually I teach through my leadership and training called Emotional Quotient. And they said that in today's culture, the ability to have a high EQ versus IQ is more important when it comes to leadership and influencing people, knowing when to ramp up and when to ramp down and how to approach different people versus one style. So I don't think anything's going to change there. As you need to get the break, Pat will get you on the other side. We want to thank the good folks over at North River Timber Company, North River Timber Company, LLC. Courtney White and his team are there to serve you. 205-242-5127. Also, you can call Chase at 205-799-0665. North River Timber CO at gmail.com. You can find them on email there. They're offering timber harvesting, appraisals, and land management. They've been serving 4 counties in West Alabama, and that number continues to grow. If you have land As Courtney White says, it's like having money in the bank. Let North River Timber Company, LLC, help you maximize your potential in your land investment.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, hello and happy hump day to you. Let's talk Cottondale. Got a major crash on 2059 in the southwest direction, just past Covered Bridge Road. This has got a long line of delays. It's going to take you back to just shy of Demir Benz Boulevard. And then we've also got another fender bender on 3.
Your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis. And visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. We want to thank the good folks over at the Pharmacy at Midtown. They power our Free-for-All Friday, so we'll be telling you more about them later on in the week. But go check out the Pharmacy at Midtown, pharmacymidtown.com. Pharmacymidtown.com is where you can find them, or you can call them at 205-579-9933. All types of resources. Wellness classes. They deliver immunizations, multi-dose packaging, compounding, over-the-counter services, and a whole lot more. That's TJ and the Pharmacy at Midtown. Go check them out. They power our Free-for-All Friday. I'll toss it back to you, man.
As we get ready to kick off this second half, we will be switching going into this game on Saturday versus Wisconsin, and we've got Pat on the Empowerment Straight Solutions Hotline to kick off that topic.
Hey,
how you doing?
Good morning, Pat. Hey, good morning, fellas. But I don't know if y'all how much y'all hit on it, because I've been on and off having to cook breakfast this morning for somebody else visiting, and I don't know about Jefferson being gone, because like I said, I assume that he's only going to be gone for the first half. But if Jihad Campbell can't pick up the slack, then we better spend this last three players that we got or so in the transfer. I mean, got possible to pick up in this 2025 class. We better go find us a darn good middle linebacker. What do you guys think?
Well, that's definitely going to be a concern going into next season, because I think you could potentially, well, Jefferson's a senior. And then Lawson and Campbell, I think, will be high draft picks next year. They continue on this success. Now, Jihad leads the team in tackles. He's averaging 10 tackles a game. He had a couple missed tackles on Saturday, but I think that was just because he plays too fast sometimes. It's not out of position. It's getting there with such an intensity that he doesn't break down all the way. But I think when you look at the loss of Jefferson, he played 20 snaps on Saturday and had 10 tackles. That is absolutely an insane rate of getting after the ball carrier. So I think he will be a big loss in the first half. You know, how do you keep Jihad and Deontay fresh in the course of this game? And also there's that formation that we run on defense where you have Campbell move now to an edge rusher with Q Robinson, and Jefferson comes in next to Lawson. Do you try to supplement that differently? Jeremiah Alexander, who's the other backup inside linebacker, has been dealing with an injury and hasn't played so far this season. Is he healthy? A lot of questions to be figured out there.
And I would add in there, I don't think it's going to be as big as we think from the scheme standpoint. I think it's more depth, if anything, because this is a different style of offense that we're playing against. I think Jefferson did what he did because he was playing a spy position, I think, a lot, and they ran the quarterback a lot. And you know what I mean? So will he be a loss? Absolutely, because he has ramped up his game this year. It's been fun fun to see. But I think going into this game, you may see more true 3 or 4 defensive linemen. And to me, we need to see that, because my concern coming out of that last game, X and Pat, were that we're going to be okay covering the run or pass unless that's what that team is determined to do. And the next 2 games, I think, we've had trouble in the past with the widespread open offense. This defense, I think, will have trouble with Georgia and Wisconsin, and not Tennessee. That's just my thoughts.
Okay. But guys, y'all do understand, everybody was fussing about my score predictions, both you and the Bearded Wonder in the afternoon. And y'all don't understand, there's nobody in the backfield at Wisconsin named Ron Dane.
I don't have a problem with your score prediction.
Hey, if my score prediction, if we can score 48 points, then we're back on track. Because I felt like we're going to have to score, in order to make it to the championship, we're going to have to average 46 points a game.
Well, we're averaging 52.5 right now?
Yeah, we headed that way. Hey, in the last game, I don't know what the crap happened that we didn't get that burst to the end of it. I do know that the fourth quarter program, I really feel the fourth quarter program was the difference in that ball game as far as score-wise. Not as far as the way we played the first 3 quarters, but score-wise, it was Alabama's conditioning program in comparison to South Florida. And they're down where it's hot all the time.
All right. Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it, man.
Right,
we'll keep that conversation rolling, Pat, because that's part of our conversation moving forward. Let's get to J-Rob. J-Rob, you're in on the Empowerment Strategy Solutions Hotline with Xavier Martin.
Good morning, Martin and X. How you doing today?
I can't complain. How you doing?
All right. I'm good. Hey, I'm just going to throw a score out there because I know y'all got to get the break and you got Scotty coming in, but
you're fine.
I think it'll be 31-17. Good guys.
And what's your yards?
What is the score?
Total rushing yards.
Total rushing yards for us.
Yes.
Okay.
Including quarterback.
Okay. 250.
All right.
Nice even.
So I think it'll be a physical game. That's what they're known for up there, and it being in their house, it might be a little tougher environment than we're used to so far this year. But that's what I got. Y'all have a great show. Take care. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Speaking of this environment, what do you think about a potential boost to the team with this being an early morning kickoff with the way that Coach DeBoer has moved practices up to mornings? Do you think that gives us a better chance to get off to a good start?
Well, I think it's interesting. I've heard people, seen several people saying, well, Alabama usually don't play well in those early morning games. And I was like, yeah, but this coaching staff is, they're used to getting up and going early in the morning. So, I think we could potentially see a different Alabama team because they're used to getting up, eating, breakfast and working and doing and having their job done. They do more, as the Army say, do more before 6 a.m. It's not really, but most people do all day. This team is used to doing more by 11 a.m. than a lot of teams out there do all day. So I think it will be Alabama's advantage. Hey, we got Marty Graw X on the Tide 100.9 app. He has Alabama 15, Wisconsin 14. So he thinks it's going to be a nail biter.
Don't do that to us. We can't handle a game like that.
He didn't give me his total yards, so but I don't know that if he's right, I don't know if anybody else is gonna go that close, even if they believe that.
Hey, but that means Graham Nicholson got some work in, it sounds like. That's 5 field goals.
or maybe what how else could you get there? 7 safety, 2 field goals, right?
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, what's the name? Fumbles. Maybe Van Dyke fumbles into the end zone. I mean, gets tackled in the end zone, and we get a field goal, 2 field goals. But that's interesting. We've not seen a field goal yet, right?
We have not. So, but yeah, I mean, this game is going to be a good one, an interesting one, and of course we'll dig deeper as the week goes on. But if you were to look at, have you seen any of Wisconsin actually play yet?
I saw their first game, a little bit of their first game, against, what was it, Central Michigan?
Western Michigan.
Western Michigan. I knew it wasn't Central. Western Michigan. And they should have lost the game. Okay? They were getting dominated. I know people say, well, Martin, y'all could have lost last week. No. This team was trailing the entire game.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know how they got the lead.
It was a punt. Fumble?
No, a punt. And the guy was running down the field to cover the punt, and the ball hit him in the back.
No.
And Wisconsin recovered it and then scored a touchdown to take the lead. That's how they took the lead. I mean, they were on the ropes, and I mean, they were on the ropes. And what you call it was getting the ball back in the fourth quarter, and the ball hits I think it was the fourth quarter, either late third, early fourth quarter. Ball hits the player in the back, and they recover it. Yeah. So
now you know who Western Michigan's head coach is, right?
I saw him on the sideline, but I didn't pick up who it was.
Lance Taylor, former Alabama wide receiver back in the early 2000s. Yep.
I did not pick that up at all.
Yeah, just quick little connection. He played in the Franchione, early Shula era.
Yeah. Congratulations, Coach. I still don't even remember. I don't even remember the name. That's the bad part. So, is he from Mount Vernon?
I think so. He's from a smaller town.
Yeah, Mount Vernon. I looked him up when you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a walk-on here at Alabama from 99 to 2002. Okay. Huh. Oh, he was one of those. He was one of those. He played from Mike Dupos, Dennis Franchione, Mike Price, and Mike Shula. That is so bad. I think Alabama fans. I need to read that out loud, Xavier, a couple of times just so Alabama fans don't forget just how good it's been.
Right.
I mean, one player played for Mike Dubose, Dennis Franchione, Mike Price, Mike Shula from 99 to 2002. Bama, the football gods have shined on us since 2007. Let's enjoy this time. And I think we have a good one on the sideline now.
Right.
All right.
It was real for a while.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, listen, we definitely, man, we'll keep some of this conversation going. I think we need to look at a couple other teams around the country, because that's where it's coming to, man. It's going to be, I think, 2 major conferences, even though we still have 4 that's going to be battling things out. You can look at the AP top polls. So we'll pick that conversation up on tomorrow. And anything else that you may want to get to. As we get the break here, we'll have Scotty Hollins, Executive Director, Blueprint Ministries, on the other side. And as we get the break, I want to tell you to go check out the venue, your new favorite Tuscaloosa Hangout, the venue. They'll take care of all of your hangout needs for family and friends, whether it's Liza's Sweet Shop, Finney's Pub with great choices of food and drinks there, as well as the second location of Ramajama's offering breakfast all day long. We'll be back on the other side to bring in Scotty Hollins, Executive Director, Blueprint Ministries.
Go inside the Alabama Crimson Tide with the Gary Harris Show.
Hey everybody, it's Gary Harris. Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. on the Gary Harris Show. The Alabama football discussion continues to be hot and heavy as the Crimson Tide gets ready to take on the Wisconsin Badgers on Saturday morning at Camp Reynolds Stadium in Madison. We'll have the latest. Plus, you talk about hot. NASCAR is hot, and Matt Coulter picked a winner this past Sunday at Atlanta with Joey Logano, the NASCAR report. Plus your phone calls. That's Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. on the Gary Harris Show.
Catch the Gary Harris Show Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. on Tide 100.9 and Tide100.9.com.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Wednesday morning. Francine is a hurricane. Could be a Cat 2 by the time it makes landfall this afternoon near Morgan City, Louisiana. But ABC 3340 meteorologist Evan Checkborough tells us the storm will not directly impact West Alabama until tomorrow. That's when we could see wind gusts 35 to 40 miles per hour, heavy rainfall, possible flooding, and a few tropical tornadoes. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news, sports, and weather all throughout the day. It's absolutely free. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, we got a tight squeeze on our hand in Coaling. Watch out for this accident on 2059 on the southwest lane, just past Covered Bridge Road. This has got major delays. You got a red line. It's going to cost you a solid back to Brookwood Parkway. And then you've also got to
Birmingham. Plus, don't miss our grand opening celebration Friday, October the 11th through Sunday, October 13th. And check us out at academy.com with free shipping on purchases over $25.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Welcome into the Harvest Church Christian Moment of the Week with Scotty Hollins, Executive Director, Blueprint Ministries. Good morning, Scotty. How you doing, sir?
Good morning, Martin. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well. Well, glad to have you in. I'll toss it to you to take us on a little jaunt of how we can incorporate our faith into the boardroom, the classroom, or our chosen field of play, sir.
Absolutely. Hey, we're focusing on a new series. It's called Fundamentals that ultimately build foundations in our lives. And those fundamentals kind of become the foundations of our lives. And so we're looking at just the little things, the things that are fundamental that in our walk with the Lord that we need to be, I'll put it this way, they're habits that we need to develop that ultimately end up developing us. And they're things that we need to be doing. Our analogy has been looking at, last week we talked about just kind of the individual drills in football. If you know anything about football, you do these certain drills, at every practice, for about 20, 30 minutes. It's just fundamental stuff. It can be kind of boring, but it's a time where you really need to focus. It's the same stuff that you do every single day, fundamentals, but it's making sure that you stay sharp on those. And we're talking about, from a spiritual standpoint, spending time in God's word is a necessary fundamental because it is a foundation for our lives. We looked at Romans 12:2, don't be conformed to the pattern of this world any longer, but be transformed by renewing your mind. So stop allowing the world to press you into its mold and allow God's word to continue to change you so that you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. Today I want to look at a different verse. It's Joshua 1:8. We've looked at it in the past. But he simply says, meditate on God's word day and night so that you be careful to do everything written in it. He says, then you'll be prosperous and successful in all you do. So if we're going to meditate on God's word day and night, I want to give you, let me just say this. If you're going to grow in any specific area, there's three things that have to be true and three things that you have to be growing in. And so, look, if we're trying to grow and spend the time in the word, that's the fundamental. Then we have to have a competence and know how to spend time in the word, meaning we got to have a plan and we got to have some know-how. And so if you say, you know what, I don't know what to do when I open the Bible, Scotty, I want to start. I want to develop this habit that can develop me. But where do I start? Find somebody, Pastor Martin knows really, really well how to dig in that word. Find somebody who is in your realm of influence who can help you understand how to study the Bible, how to open the Bible, how to actually come away with something. So competence is actually knowing what to do and how to do it. The second thing you got to do is, and these are 3 C's. Again, how do we grow in any particular area? Talking about spending time in the Word, we got to have competence. We got to know how to spend time in the Word and what to do. The second thing we got to do is we got to have conviction, meaning we got to really feel like this matters to us. So meaning there has to be this desire or this understanding that if we don't spend time in God's Word, then we're gonna be lacking. That we actually have a need for God's Word, not just to be becoming who God wants us to be, but really just before that, just to know Him more. So 3 specific things we want to do is know Him more, become more like Him, and make Him more known. We can't do that without His Word. So we're talking about competence. We're talking about conviction. That leads to consistency. Consistency is like Nike, Martin. It's just do it, right? So the question is, I'll say, I'm going to give you a simple equation. If we have competence, we know what to do and how to do it. We have conviction. We actually feel like we need to do it, Martin. Guess what we'll have? Competence plus conviction equals consistency. If we don't have consistency, we need to ask ourselves, do we know what to do or how to do it? Or maybe we know what to do and we know how to spend time in the Word, but we just feel like, hey, I'm good. I'm not in a bad place. The only time I need God's Word is if I'm struggling and I'm good right now. We need God's Word every day because every day is an opportunity that we can know Him more, that we can become more like Him, and we can make Him known. We need to meditate on His Word day and night so that we'll be careful to do everything written in it. He says, then we'll be prosperous and successful in all we do. If you don't have a plan, you got to come up with a plan. If you don't feel like you need it, you need to make sure we all need it. And if you have competence plus conviction, it will always, Martin, always equal consistency.
Yeah, and I do a leadership teaching called it's situational leadership, and they say 2 things, and you hit one is competence, the other one is commitment, and it says you can in conviction to me is similar to that, or you could add that as a separate topic. But what's key about that is it says that you can gauge somebody's leadership potential based on those 2 criteria. And to me, you can kind of gauge someone's growth path by looking at those things. If someone's competent to do it, but they have no conviction to do it, then they don't grow. If someone has conviction, but they don't have competence, like there are people who, man, they're like, I want to grow. But if they don't know how, it doesn't matter. And so to me, they kind of flow in order because if you get down to consistency, but if you're consistently doing something out of conviction, but you're doing the wrong thing, it's like practice makes perfect. No, it don't. Because if you learn something the wrong way, your practice.
That's right. You're right about that.
It's perfect practice makes perfect, right? So it's consistent conviction of knowing how to pursue God's plan for your life that leads to a commitment that just keeps growing and growing and growing. I just think that's the way it flows. Such great teaching, Scotty. Tell them where they can find you, sir.
Absolutely. I want you to support my son, Austin. Austin's Inspiring Messages on Instagram. I manage his page. If you want to get a message to me, you can send it right to that, and it'll come straight to my email. Austin's Inspiring Messages on Instagram.
Austin Inspiring Messages. That's what it's called. Austin Inspiring Messages.
Yep, Austin's Inspiring Messages. He's sending like a verse of the day. He's giving a powerful verse.
Awesome. Hey, that's Scotty Hollins. That was Xavier Houston earlier. I'm Martin Houston Chase. Brumfield, we appreciate you, all the callers, listeners, viewers, and chats being part of the program. Remember this, trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge Him. And we'll be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. God bless. And remember this, trust in the Lord always, always. And hey, get consistent, competent, and have conviction, and it'll lead to a commitment that will change